So today we continue our ranking series in Premier League, and we are going to a position that is not so popular in current modern football, but it still remains popular in Premier League folklore, and that is the left midfielder role. And please, before you start, for those who are watching this video, before you start hearing some questionable names from all three of us, put in mind that this is left midfielders and not left wingers. So just have that interpretation in your head before you hear some weird names from all three of us. But anyways, without wasting much time, starting with you, Max, who is number three on your top three left midfielders in Premier League history?
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of time to choose between number two and number three, who is above, who is below. At the end of the day, I choose the player to be above, number two, only because he was more consistent, in my space at least. And I'll go on number three with Gareth Bale. I mean, obviously, in the end of his career, he wasn't really a left midfielder. He was even playing on the right wing, but at the time of Premier League, he was mostly left midfielder, and he was so flashy. He was very important in attack and defense as well. He even scored 21 goals in one season in Premier League, and then he was bought by Real Madrid for over 100 mil of euro. And this is a lot back in the day, obviously. And I feel like individually he was probably one of the best players in all time on this position. But the only problem, he didn't win anything because he was playing for Spurs, obviously. And also he wasn't this consistent because 1 or 2 seasons he showed pretty much nothing. So I'd go with him on number three.
Oof. Okay, moving on to you, Victor. Who is your number three, top three left midfielder?
Uh, Before I give my number three, I like how Max kind of averaged out the positions. Because if you look at Bale's career, he started as a left wing back, then got up to a winger. So kind of in the middle, if you look at it, it is actually left
No,
midfielder.
actually he played
So I'm
150
not
games as left midfielder. I checked it.
absolutely
I
don't get me wrong. I'm not crapping on your pick. It's just kind of funny because it also looks at things from a mathematical perspective, if you will. So it's kind of interesting.
I mean, I
Um,
watched I watched Bale, but I never saw him as a midfielder. I was
yeah,
always a
me
winger or a
neither.
left back.
Yeah, me neither. I felt like he was, especially in the beginning of his career, he was very much like left wing back 101. Like he could do the
Gotcha.
defensive side of things. He would bomb forward, probably even better than some proper left backs, top left backs of today. But that doesn't really make him a midfielder to me. So my number three is David Ginola. I know it's a bit of an oldie pick, but as Colade already mentioned, the position is a little bit extinct in today's day and age in the Prem. Nobody really plays 4-4-2 anymore with the big lad up front and whatnot. But yeah, Ginola, he was just so good on his day. And sure, we can look at some of his inconsistencies and discipline issues as well. And I do fault him for those, but at the end of the day, he was just a joy to watch to me. The fact that Spurs finished 11th in 1999 and still he was the player to win Players Player of the Year and Football Writers Footballer of the Year awards. That's just mental. It doesn't. It has no right to happen for a team that finishes in 11th place. Beyond the fact that his behavior was, let's call it, a little bit abrasive at times, but he was just a very, very good footballer at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah. I think I agree with you. Good choice, anyways. But for me, and my number three is not influenced by the club I support, but my number three pick is Robert Pires. My number three pick is actually Robert Pires. When you think about a mix of modern and the oldies, then you have Pires. He was one of the first prominent examples of an inverted winger, so to say. He played as a left midfielder, but he sort of, drifted further and whatnot. And this guy was so good that he had he was so good that he had the pace, trickery, and everything you needed from a proper winger. And he's just on my number three for me. So moving on, Max, who is your number two pick?
Actually, my number two pick is the same as you, and I don't think I should add anything else. But only I can say that he wasn't playing for so long for Premier League. He spent only 6 years, as I think, but he was pretty much consistent throughout all this time, and he won two Premier Leagues, which never happened with Arsenal players anymore. And he was a key player in Arsenal Invincible, so he's definitely on my number two.
Yeah, fresh out. And Victor, over to you. Your number two.
Absolutely, absolutely mental. You put Pires in third, and the non-Arsenal fans on this podcast put it in second. I'm going with Pires here, number two. I don't think anyone can disagree with me if I say he's one of the best players to ever put on a Gunners shirt, honestly.
Yeah.
To me, he's all the way up there with Henri, just below Dennis Bergkamp's level. He was my favorite. Uh, that's no mean feat, though. The way Pires carried himself on the pitch, it was just captivating. It was must watch. He could make fools of right backs, had a proper eye for goal, amazing crosses, the works. So, yeah, for me, left midfielder number two spot, Pires.
All right. So my number two pick has to be Ginola. My number two pick has to be Ginola. Yeah, I mean, Ginola is just someone that if you watched him now, based on what we know as left wingers, if you watch him now, you probably would not appreciate him because of what the position has become. But if you watched him in the earlier times or what football was like then, you appreciate his role better. He was clutch. He was someone you could always rely on. He was consistent, and he had all the skills, to back up, you know, everything. And the fact that, just like Victor said, he did not play for probably the best sides or the best teams, but everywhere you could see his quality all around. And it's just my number two pick. Yeah. And moving on to the number one, and I think everybody should have the same number one on this list. And Max, over to you.
I mean, should I even say something about this guy? Because when you talk about Ryan Giggs, you always put him as the best left midfielder. Probably even considering the wingers, he's probably still above because he's been consistent for over 20 years and he did insane things. He won 13 Premier Leagues. He scored over 250 goals, over 350 assists. He's the record breaker, and I mean, this guy was just phenomenal.
Yeah, Victor, your pick.
I mean, if anyone tells me Ryan Giggs is not the best left midfielder to ever play in the Prem, I instantly know that either they don't care about the Prem that much or they have no clue what it's about. Um, I'll give him this. His brother might say Giggs is a shite human being, and I would agree. But as a footballer, to me, the only true left midfielder anywhere near his level in football in general was Nedved, and he didn't play in the Prem. So it's a no-brainer. Numbers don't even tell the whole story. I mean, Max already mentioned all the stats, but for me, the eye test was passed with flying colors every single time. It was hard to look at the way United play and not be just in awe of how important Giggs was and for so very long, just like Scholes.
Yeah, yeah. And without saying everybody, obviously we have the same number one because I've got Ryan Giggs as well. I don't think anybody comes close to touching his legacy. Like Victor said, he passed the eye test. He even passed the numbers test, if you ask me, because his longevity was peak. This guy played over under different, different regimes, different players, and I think at some point he had a record of being the player to score in about 20, or was it 20 different Premier League seasons, or how many? Yeah, I think he has that record of being the only player to have done that, and that just shows his longevity. over all this decades, 2 decades plus playing at that level is pretty much insane. So nobody is coming close to Ryan Giggs, not in the next 5 or 10 years, because this role is already pretty much extinct. So I think he has that legacy locked down in Premier League folklore as the best left midfielder to have graced the league. So yeah, there you have it. Those are our picks for the left midfielder option. I don't think anybody can disagree with the number one. But probably other names here are up for debate and up for interpretation, and we would like our viewers to join us in the conversation and tell us what they think. And next time we'll move on to other positions that could spark proper debate as well.